Before you jump into FL Studio, I recommend checking your basic audio device and MIDI settings. Click the Options menu and select MIDI settings to take a look at your MIDI devices, for example, MIDI keyboards, drum pads, launch pads, that kind of thing. FL Studio does a good job of detecting all kinds of MIDI controllers. You can select the device you want to use on the list, make sure it's enabled, and you should be good to go. The Controller Type drop-down menu lets you select from popular MIDI devices, which FL will attempt to automatically map to different controls. In the Audio tab, make sure the right sound card or audio interface is selected. For example, if you have an external USB interface like a PreSonus Fire Studio project, like I do, you'll want to select that device for use here. Under File Settings, you can specify a folder where FL Studio will search for installed plugins. It will always search by default in the operating system's default locations. So for example, on a PC, that would be in Program Files, Steinberg, VST plugins. This list lets you specify folders in the browser for easy drag and drop into FL. If you have external folders of recorded audio, drum samples, one-shots, or loops, this is where I would put them. It's a good idea to enable autosave. Believe me, you will not regret it. FL Studio is very stable, but poorly written plugins, operating system crashes, or a cat sitting on the power button can all cause pretty bad problems. There are also project settings to take a look at. The Info tab is for purely organizational purposes, useful for collaboration, or just letting people know who created the song. The General tab has some more important options. Time division is actually the time signature of the song. Bar is the number of beats in each measure, while beat is the number of 16th notes per beat. Yes, it's a little confusing. For example, to write a song in 3/4, you would decrease bar to 3. The Data folder is where FL will save any recordings made in this project. Set this to a separate folder, again for organizational purposes. One last thing. Many of the shortcuts I'm going to be mentioning use the keyboard. FL Studio has an option called Typing Keyboard to Piano enabled by default, which lets you use your typing keyboard to play notes. However, this interferes with many of the shortcuts in the program, so I recommend keeping it off for now.